Good evening. I call this meeting of the Cumberland Parks Board in session. All rise. And we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Caitlin, will you do the roll call, please?
President Curtis,
Here.
Vice President Gaston, Member Durr.
Here.
Member Johnson.
Here. Now we have the consideration of the September 2025 minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those?
I move to approve the September 10th minutes.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Do we have public comments tonight?
Well, I guess one thing I would like,
Say your name so everybody knows.
stand up.
my name is David Mears. And I'm a frequent user of the trails. And one of the things I would like to see happen is the bridge over the creek on the Pennsy Trail. That we designate that as an area for a rainbow bridge. And people can put their dog collars or their dog tags on the wooden portion of that bridge. It's something that we've seen happen a number of places. We were in Pittsburgh in August, and they have across their bridge, people who have become married or whatever, they put a lock on the bridge. It's kind of neat to see everything there, and the rainbow bridge seems to be something that would be appropriate because of the number of dog walkers that are on the trail, and it would give a lasting memory. That is my public comment.
Well, thank you very much. We'll take that under consideration. Gosh, that's a good idea.
I know, it's like I thought that.
I will say that there's a rainbow bridge in Greenfield that is really nice, so. Next up is our financial report for the claims register. Did you have a chance to look at it? Because I did not, and it's very lengthy. You looked at it, thanks. Did you?
No.
What are running boards?
For the vehicles, for the trucks.
Okay. We must have one truck, newer than the others.
And they ordered it every time.
Okay. Is there a motion for the approval of the September 2025 claims register?
We'll move to approve the, what's the date?
September,
September claims register.
okay, do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye, all those opposed say nay. Did I hear an aye? Aye. Motion carries. We have board report from Caitlin.
Yes, staff cleaned the parks and trails, they trimmed along the trails. We were preparing for the Honors Park ceremony. I met with Joni to look at the little library locations. Ermco was out to look at the electrical in Lions Park. I ordered the shade structure that was approved at the last meeting. I attended the National Parks Conference the week of September 15th. I met with Skyhawks on September 24th. The goal is to do a soft opening in the spring of 2026. The multi-sport programs discussed were beginner golf, soccer, basketball, flag football, and sand volleyball. And the mural on the Pinsey Trail has been completed. I also added financials down below for the 2 agreements that you currently have with Butler Fairman. I'm still working on getting you the financials of all the line items. We just recently made the switch
Okay,
to the cloud version, and we've had issues getting reports for just about everything. So once I have that, I'll send that out as well.
thank you. This way we can see where that big money is going that comes up for budget. What's wrong with the electrical in Lions Park?
I'm not sure if you remember, Brenda was saying that, the electrical was, or the lights weren't coming on the pickleball court.
Yeah, it's not just a timer issue.
No, it was some of the conduit had been kind of squished shut.
Uh-huh.
The thing was breaking a wire. They just replaced that section. It should be fine now.
Good. Did you have anything for us, like 100 ideas that you got from Nash?
I have a bookmark that I'll send, make a copy of and send to all you guys. It's
Okay.
just like a bunch of different programming.
Yeah, it's small programming that we could possibly do that's low cost. And the Firefly mural is what we're talking about,
Mhm.
correct? Okay, thank you very much. Next, we're on the front.
Yes, if you remember, a couple months ago, I talked about how we kind of threw you guys into the Parkview LWCF process without much explanation at all. So that kind of did you guys an injustice. So we asked Ryan, who's been a part of it the whole time, to come in and kind of give you guys an overview of how it became and what it looks like now and where we're going forward.
So the Parkview project is a part of a PUD by Broad Development. As part of their development, to capture stormwater, they have identified a long linear park within the center of their development along with a couple adjacent parcels. Their intent is to donate that to the town once they're completed with their development phases. So essentially, you guys will be gifted a completed park. The only outstanding items that we're working to design and install as a part of that are the pedestrian amenities, solar bollards, if the tree canopy allows, are included in that budget. Benches, waste receptacles, bike racks, things like that are included in the budget. As well as a second phase, which will include a playground. Those items were partially funded through an LWCF grant that the town had been awarded in 2022, maybe. So we're coming up to the point where we're getting ready to spend some of those dollars on installation. We anticipate that first phase of donation for their first completed phase of development will happen sometime in 2025. We're looking at November right now. And then a second phase to happen the following year. Potentially a third phase after that, depending on how progress goes on their second phase of construction. So right now, phase A for the park, as far as my scope goes for design, is pretty much complete. We've done a site visit to see the status of the installation. The developer's working on installing a pedestrian crossing of their constructed wetlands. They're installing
In what?
a pedestrian crossing,
Okay.
boardwalk or a bridge
Mhm.
over the constructed wetlands that are in the park. And then install all the landscaping and trees that meet the criteria of what was submitted to the planning commission, I think, right? Yeah, so they're working on that, it's the right time of year for them to plant all those trees, so, hopefully their contractor gets those orders placed and trees in the ground soon, and then once their work is completed, then we can recommend accepting that donation. And then that gives you guys, I think, 15 or so acres of the parkland added to your inventory. And that's gonna come in phases though, so several acres this year, several acres probably next year. And then. Let's see, what else? I think that's pretty the high level stuff. The grant dollars, total budget for everything was $1 million. And we're using that money for playground design and installation and construction. That's the big cost coming out of that grant. Everything else is survey, design, and then installation of the pedestrian amenities. But the playground is gonna be like the big ticket item, and that should be ready to go out probably within a year and a half, 2 years. So we'll probably have to get an extension from DNR and National Park Service to extend our grant timeline at least 1 year. Just because the way the development donation is, flagged on. You guys have any questions beyond that? I can answer them.
So Everett and his staff don't have to do anything until it's been turned over to the town.
Correct.
They don't have to mow any grass or plant any trees or do anything.
Correct. And I believe that the majority of the maintenance, for that park, there are some items that will probably fall onto the town for maintenance, but a lot of those items will also fall onto the HOA. So the HOA, that depends on how the developer writes the ordinances to establish the HOA and gets them kicked off. But typically the HOA would handle the mowing, but things like street tree replacement, I guess it all might fall under the HOA actually. It just depends on how it's written and what their responsibilities are. There is stuff in the right of way that would probably fall on the town to maintain. But that's gonna be determined where that final right of way line is, what's considered common area in the development, which falls under the HOA versus what's in the right of way, which falls on.
Can we, work with the HOA to make sure that what they put in there, that his team is gonna be able to take care of that and make sure that it's fair?
Yeah, we've done a site visit and we reviewed and approved the landscape plans that they've shown, so nothing is out of the ordinary or extravagant or too complex.
Okay.
I think the complex items like the wetlands and the storm structures in there, that falls on the responsibility of the HOA.
Okay,
I have a question.
Yes,
I'm hearing stormwater, linear, wetlands, acre, and park. So is this park by the linear water that's in there right now? Is this park by the
Yeah.
water?
the acreage surrounds, that's one parcel surrounds the constructed wetlands. One side has a trail along it, and then it's pretty much trees and vegetation. So it's the first segment that's gonna be donated, the major piece is a long linear wetland with a trail adjacent to the road. There's two other parcels, one that the cell phone tower sits on, that's open space. And then there's another constructed detention area that can hold water in large storm events, but it's got a raised area in the center with a concrete pad, benches, trees and landscaping around that as well.
So are we not concerned about a park next to the stormwater?
concern for safety or?
Yes.
The stormwater has been detained and designed so that it's got the safety ledge and the depth is not. Consistently deep or ever deep really. It's more like wet vegetated soil. But
I
it's,
know, but as a former lifeguard, I see this as an issue. I've only been over there one time. And I know what I was walking by, and if we're talking about the same big, long drainage thing, and that's gonna be considered a park with a trail that we are gonna maintain, correct?
you or the HOA, yeah.
And the playground is going by the cell tower? Or where is the playground going?
Playground is in the second phase of development, which is to the north of all of this.
Is it by the water?
I do not know what their second phase plans show.
Okay, I'm just going on the record to say I am extremely concerned about the closeness, proximity of the water that we're calling a park. And children drowning in retention ponds. Not that I wish it down the main, but I'm just, that's my concern.
So you need to go back out there and look, right? That would be a good thing.
Well, it wasn't too long ago. The geese have taken over. They were taking over the day I was there.
Okay,
But I just think it's a concern.
so did you have something else too?
Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
My concern is when I hear stormwater and park in the same sentence. That are we building a park? In a dangerous situation?
Right,
And there are no houses on there, correct? Because the water is in the middle between two roads. And the houses are on those roads over here, correct?
Yeah, facing roads.
Yeah. I'm struggling to see how that's a park.
That's one portion of the area that's being donated to the town.
And why would the town want this?
Because we have the need for parks. Parks don't necessarily mean playground areas. Like there's several parks that are just trails. There's a park just right off of Brookville and Muncie, or no, that's Prospect, sorry. Prospect and Muncie that has maybe a little playground and the rest of it's just wooded area and trails.
Paul Ruster.
Mhm.
Okay, so when you say 15 acres. Are we talking water as well? Is the water part of that 15 acres?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going on record, I'm struggling with all that, but okay, because that's not part, you can't. What are you gonna do on the water? You're not. I don't know. It's great that they're donating it, but I don't know how you're counting 15 acres. When
The
half of
kids
it's water.
The kids will fish in it.
Are
And
we gonna allow fishing? Are they gonna allow people from the outside to come in and go fishing in their pond? I mean, Glen Oaks Village has no fishing
mhm,
on
but
their
they
pond.
try anyway, right?
This is not like a retention pond that holds water year round. It'll be essentially dry or damp in the summer. It'll fill up with rainwater during storm events, and then the way that it's designed, I understand, is that it flows, hits a level, and then pipes out to the next phase. So it stages it before it hits the legal drain and then drains off into Buck Creek. It's a functioning stormwater detention. So it's.
But doesn't it have those huge round things with grates on top of them down there?
Yeah, there are storm pipes to carry that volume of water away
Alright.
from the site.
I think it's a problem, but that's my problem. I just don't think it's safe. I don't think it's a park.
I haven't looked at it, so I don't.
All right, I'm done. Thank you.
Ryan, you have questions?
No, I mean, I assume we can go look at it, right?
Stop here.
No, yeah, phase one, there's houses, there's people moved in, the roads are almost finished. So they probably have a surface asphalt that needs to come down, but yeah, you guys can drive over and take a look.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming and explaining it to us. We were just wondering what we were spending money on.
You guys are spending money on the pedestrian treatments after it's built.
Mhm.
This was raw development, design and construction, so we're putting in the park stuff
Mhm.
on top of it.
Okay, well, thank you very much. You're welcome to stay if you want, or you can go. We know you have a new baby. Old business. Honors Park ceremony went 99% well. We had, on one of the Cumberland websites, we sent the people to the Honors Park instead of here. But
Thank you.
we had one of Everett Street guys down there, and he poked everybody and told them to come down this way. Ryan did an excellent job getting everything together with all the refreshments. I think everybody was satisfied. And Joanna did much better this year. She only needed help on pronouncing two, and that was beforehand. Yeah. Yes, so. Yes, we're getting it together, and we've got to thank Caitlin for shouldering most of the work. So thank you very much. So next year, we're going to make sure that we start earlier, because I felt rushed because we had skipped that 1 month because we had a full calendar. So next year, we're gonna make sure. New business, introduction of the 2026 budget. Caitlin,
In your packet, you have the draft budget for 2026, as well as a memo that Ben put together, just explaining all the changes for next year. I read through it before you guys came in, and it pretty much, it very well follows from the beginning to the very end. I don't know how you want me to go over this, if you want me to read what Ben sent, if you want me to just hit the high notes as far as the percentages, increases.
basically, I want to know what we're gonna have coming in, and how much of that we get to keep as a Parks Board, and also what we're gonna be spending. And, as you go on, I have some questions
Okay.
that I marked on individual line items.
Okay.
And how we can proceed with new projects or build on the projects that we already have. And money wise, how do we do that?
Okay, so your estimated total revenue for 2026 is 400,581. This represents a 24% increase from 2025. The parks bond interest earned is expected to generate $60,000, a significant increase from 0 in 2025. So, yes, that's the bond that you guys did last year, in the last year, I think it was.
One that we've never had before.
Mhm. And the property taxes are anticipated to rise by 9%. That brings it from $295,265 to $321,326. For the appropriations, there's, the changes include an 8% increase in the budget for the town manager. That's your 204, 100, 111.021, it's still. I think these are.
Okay, please tell me,
Go ahead.
what does regular non-exempt mean?
So those are for other staff members. It's not just, it's your share of park staff's
Okay,
pay.
that's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure. And this, going down overtime is our part of parks overtime.
Correct. And there's a 3% projected increase for those non-exempt, so. The town council approved a 3% cost of living increase for the year of 2026, so that's what that is.
Okay,
The biggest one is health insurance is expected to see a 37% increase. The part, I'll skip down to the part of impact B, that would be GL number 454-000-229. It's going from. It says. It indicates the park impact fees identified are growing as evidenced by the cash balance increase from 0 in 2024 to $266,370 by mid-2025. However, these fees have not been appropriated in the current budget. The plan is to conduct a work session to focus on park impact fees, which will be crucial for developing a park impact fee strategic plan. This plan aims to align with the park's board long-term goals, ensuring that growing impact fees are utilized effectively to support future park projects.
so right now, it's still out of our reach.
Correct.
Okay, so when it becomes in our reach, does that go on top of our 400,000?
Yes.
Thank you.
And I know, Joanna, that I had talked to you Sunday about additional projects as far as the budget goes, with it just being what it is what it is. Ben said that if the board identifies a project that falls outside the current budget, he recommends requesting a one-time appropriation from the town council from the general fund, which has a projected operating balance of $2,241,095. Alternatively, if the project is impactful, appropriating park impact fees, which have grown to a cash balance of $266,370 by mid-2025, could be a viable option. This approach ensures that essential projects can proceed without compromising the park's financial stability.
These impact fees can only be used in Hancock County, are those, is that right?
I think that's how that works. Cause I don't believe that we've been doing anything in Perry County.
I don't know the answer as I sit here on how that, I would have to look at that.
Okay.
I think I remember that we could only use it like basically in Lions Park or any new park.
Is it because of Unigo and you guys are outside? Yeah, that would make sense, but I would have to look into that.
Okay, thank you. And will you let us know before the next meeting? Is that possible? Okay. I had a question, and it's just because I'm a mechanic's daughter. So. I was wondering about, we have, under parts, we have repair parts and tools, miscellaneous supplies and those kind of things. And I understand that the parks uses the biggest part of all of those. I was just wondering how it's split up between what is miscellaneous versus what is repair parts, and how do you divide that up, Everett?
Repair parts would probably be directly like tires for mowers and actual parts to keep things running.
Okay,
Um,
does that include something that breaks, repair parts? Okay. And do we do preventive maintenance?
Yeah.
On things, and that includes that too?
Hmm.
Okay. And then on utilities, it seems like, the electric, we have the same amount for next year, and it seems like rates are gonna go so high. Does that need to be bumped up, or do we feel that that's gonna be enough? I hate to come up with a deficit. I don't think they're gonna get away with the 30%, but the 15%, I definitely see happening on Marion County side at least. But I thought it was overall. Who came up with the number? Ben? So before we vote on this next month, I think we should look at that.
Your utilities are shared across other budget lines with the other departments. It was kind of backed into that number and kept the same, just because of the revenue reductions from legislation. So, for the sake of your guys' budget, and that's kind of what penciled. So the rest of that will be spread out over other general fund lines. So it's all property tax based still. It's just not going to directly be fully absorbed in your guys' budget.
Okay. And under portalets, which is always giving me trouble. Do we shop around for those? How often do we do that?
It's been the same since I've been here, so I'm not
Okay.
sure if that's something that was done in the past.
Okay. And what was the membership and dues? What are we members of?
It's anything like the National Park Association, anything like that,
Indiana Parks and Rec Association, the town is a member of. You guys can automatically have access to that when that's renewed, stuff like that.
Okay. And on the last page, under the park board project, it seems like we're losing there. What does park board project entail?
that was money, set aside for you guys a few years ago for smaller projects that you guys wanted to do, such as pollinator gardens, the pickleball courts, just little stuff like that that you guys had discussed doing, purchasing, stuff for family fun night.
So that's been replaced with other income. Correct. I mean, we're not really losing almost $2,000. We still have money in the budget for those type of things, or is that what Ben's talking about when he says go to town council and beg?
Yeah,
I don't quite remember wording it that way, but essentially, yeah, I can get you guys an additional appropriation for projects if you guys have a project list for those smaller type projects.
Okay,
In 2025, you guys didn't really have much funded in that line either. If you guys recall, a couple years ago it was 10, then it kind of decreased with um, revenue increases not outpacing inflation, plus a revenue reduction from the legislature that they put in retroactively this year tightened it up. But we do have, as I noted in my memo, a very healthy general fund balance. So if there's good projects you want to do, I think I could probably get those funds for you in 2026. I would just think about as a group what those items are you want to try to tackle and get some consensus there.
okay, thank you very much. Anybody else have?
What line item are you referring to here? What numbers were we looking at?
It's 204, 100, 452.
So we've spent 3,046 through June, correct?
This number that we can.
Yes.
3,600.
No,
Is that,
this is what we had last
it doesn't
year.
feel like we spent that. So there's all the expenses. So that counts,
It's coming.
the honor ceremony.
This is
Cross this year, yeah.
2025.
It's
This is
purchases that
2026.
made,
Okay.
the shade structure,
Yeah,
any family fun night stuff,
yeah.
yoga, any signage comes out of that.
Okay. Yeah, the shade probably isn't here yet either, right?
Yeah, it's here.
Oh, okay.
So the next step is at our next meeting, we'll vote to support this. Okay. So we're ready to go on. Do you have a time frame for us to have our special meeting?
So far, we're looking at Mondays.
Okay,
Well, with the least availability is Brenda. She has October 20th and the 27th.
I'm good.
I'm on an airplane both days if the government will open up and my plane will fly.
I can do.
When will you be on the airplane?
Well, I'll be at 6 a.m. on the 20th, and on the 27th, I think it's late at night. I think it's 9 o'clock. I can email you. I'll let you know. Appreciate your work.
If three of us are here, though, we'll be fine if Brenda can come. Okay, so do we want the 20th or the 27th? You pick, you're here all week.
We probably have through November meeting. Do the 20th, so we don't
Okay,
back to back.
are we doing 6 or 7? I would prefer 6 if we can make it.
If this will be on Zoom, I can join you.
Okay,
Also, I recommend, since we do meet soon after, that the only item on the agenda be approving the budget.
mhm,
Is that okay?
yeah. Okay. So we're on to board member comments. Brenda, oh, I'm having a wonderful vacation, thank you very much. Joanna,
I have a whole list. Are you ready?
okay, ready.
Did we get seeds from Greenfield or do we have to buy them?
We did not, we have to buy them.
Oh, I tried. Sorry about that. They didn't have any?
I never heard back. She responded to, stormwater stuff, but not about that, so I'm not sure what the deal was.
Okay, I'll follow up with my people, see what we can do. What is the white line on the trail at the current moment?
Like out here on Penzie. It's not one of our projects, I don't remember what the project name was, Calumet just doing something with,
Well, we're not painting a line down the middle of the trail, are we?
not yet, no.
Are we
Not
going
yet.
to?
Yes, council wants a center line down the trail.
Is that coming out of their budget or ours?
Their budget, it's one of the counselors really particularly wants it. The project is one Indianapolis did not speak with us about at all, and we kind of were surprised about it. They're connecting their park up near German Church to the Pennsy. They're putting a new trail extension up there, German Church and 21st Street, I should say. Connecting down to the Pennsy. And we've reached out to their Trails and Greenway department to ask more or less kind of what the heck you guys are encroaching on our trail, and are getting some more information about that. But the council does, particularly one counselor, really want a center line on the trail system, which they would be paying for out of general fund. So
there's a trail coming from down German Church from 21st Street.
yep, that's why they're out there putting that lining down as part of that connection project. There's that church there kind of on the northwest corner, or the across from the church on the northwest corner. There's that park that space.
Uh-huh.
Indianapolis is connecting that down to the Pennsy along German Church, but I'm trying to get a set of plans from them. I know Everett's reached out trying to get a set of plans to see the routing of that, because I have concerns when you get around the cemeteries and the church and how they're actually planning on routing some of that. So that
Yeah, I'm really concerned too, because my great grandpa Limbach is right on the front row next to German Church. So.
probably don't want people walking on top of them.
Well, I already regularly pick up beer cans from around there, so. No, but I would be interested in that too, because there's not a whole lot of easement on either side, I don't think.
No, there's not much space through there. Yeah, when we get those plans, if we get like a easy to send digital set, Caitlin will circulate that to you guys so you can kind of see what's going on as well.
Thank you. Joanne.
I'll keep going. Visited the Greenfield Trail at Pennsy today, and their signage is awesome. I don't know if we can tie in with them and do their signage, but it was very nice, and I particularly like the signage where it located where you were on the trail if you needed help. Not to mention anybody in this room, but once I had to call 911 due to an emergency on the trail and trying to describe where he was to get an ambulance there. Kind of when I saw this in Greenfield today, I thought that was a major plus. I also,
Did you take pictures?
of course I did, yeah.
Joanna, that's actually the reason that signage and everything started, was your incident on the trail. We were a part of a countywide plan to do that. We have similar design package countywide. We actually located countywide. Greenfield went ahead and purchased and put theirs up, and then the county said they don't like it and they want the numbering system to be different for 911. So right now the community foundation and all the communities are trying to get the counties what they want for 911 number locations so that they can go up afterwards. But there's a complete branding package and a grant from the community foundation and stuff that went towards that. And we can also send out what kind of the countywide signage looks like. It obviously also have our logo emblem eventually, not the county or city, but so that was actually a countywide effort that has been going on for a while. But John Joe Cantus with 911
For years.
and myself, yeah. John Joe Cantus, myself from 911. It was actually former Chief Sutherland at Buck Creek Township and stuff. Like after that incident, got together. Foundation of Hancock County said, So they'd be interested in funding it. And then when you try to get every government agency in an entire county to agree on something, it takes a couple of years to actually get done. And then you think you're done and the county says, well, hold on, let's change it up a little bit.
Yeah, we're trying. Also, I noticed Greenfield had, I felt like they activated their trail. And in the terms, in sense of like, they had a suicide prevention bench. They had, you know, a memorial type thing with rocks, people just painted the rocks. I mean, something very simple, low cost. That it just seemed like the 2 miles that I walked, it's because I had a flat tire, just wanted to share. But, it was well activated. I mean, yeah, they have a lot of other stuff in there, but there seems to be things that we could do on our trail to kind of enhance it. And one of those being the Rainbow Bridge, if that was something we wanted to do, but even some of this other stuff, and even part.
Which is low cost.
Yes, and then another little thing, there was a sign, professionally made sign by a Girl Scout troop. So if this young man that's gonna do the reading library, like they had a nice pagoda thing for their reading library. But if we could activate some of this community groups, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, just the Girl Scouts little sign was just about littering, basically don't litter, but it was nicely stated and it was cute and it was by kids. Thank you, I'm done.
Nice ideas, thank you. We could also probably get one of the local veterinarians to help sponsor the Rainbow Bridge.
Yes.
Ryan,
Well, I think we need to think about our money together, maybe. So about 3,600 minus a few things. Maybe that is something like signage, which also maybe so Friends of the Trail, Walker thing. Do we sort of pick that off as a parks board in some way? I mean, we kind of have. In a more efficient way to do those types of things.
I don't know,
Yeah.
do we? Because we're still waiting on Hancock County. So right now, there's no reason for us to spend money until we figure out what they're doing, and that's been, is it 2 years, 3 years that we? Yeah,
It's been about 2 years, so, and like I said, everything's done except for now the county and 911 are going to evaluate the numbering system. But the council will be paying for the emergency signage and those things for the trail as well, so worry too much about funding that. But the other projects you guys talked about and things interest, I think that'd be good. I think it could be good if the Parks Board staff maybe does a work session to go through a variety of types of projects and things you guys may want to do so that we can put a funding ask together that I can present to council on your guys' behalf to ask for an additional appropriation to knock off those projects.
the, the police ones, which we're gonna do next time with the park rule review, they're gonna want new signage. And I'd like their signage to complement ours, if it doesn't match, at least complement what we've got instead of having a hodgepodge. Especially if it's permanent signing.
That's the nail item. That's
No.
the and so that's where you tell where you're located, find you.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the foresight, and that's the other side. And then the big ones had the rules at the bottom. That's a suicide bench. I took a picture. That's it. I didn't take a big one. of
Is that
those.
somebody's backyard?
No, this is on the trail.
What's this?
That's on the trail. I was walking in the Benzie.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That's downtown Greenfield.
I just wondered if that business or that house put that there.
That's definitely.
There's a lot of partners that have done a lot on the trail. Marion White Rock's done a really good job from county trails, not-for-profit, pulling people together. The Community Foundation has invested with some connections at Spot. There's been good Eagle Scout projects and a variety of Girl Scout projects, other things like that. And the city has done a good job activating throughout on their sections as well. So, like I said, if there's those kinds of projects, I think we can find ways to
Thank you.
So maybe, or November, talk about the budget remaining.
Yes.
And maybe this is a good year to do things like signage. Since we have the other project coming up. Most likely next year. Bigger project.
Well, and when we see where we are, we've got to spend down to that penny again.
Could we contribute to the Boy Scout? Through our budget, are we allowed to do that? Can't remember.
You mean
The
for
Eagle
the
Scout?
library?
Yeah. I can't remember if we were allowed to do that.
We were, donating the library.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know if financially we could give any.
are we allowed to give funds to the Eagle Scout who's doing the little library in Lions Park?
It's tricky. There's a lot of questions there of how and what for and different statuses. Sometimes it's easier if he has costs to submit receipts and do more of a reimbursement versus that. He could also go through the grant process, but sometimes you need to tie that to some kind of not-for-profit or nonprofit for a grant process. So it's a long-winded way to just say possibly, but we would need to actually look at the means of how to do so or what we're looking to contribute.
What are you thinking about?
Well, when we've got remaining money,
Mhm.
maybe. So that's it, that's all I have.
Okay. The only thing I have is Caitlin and I did walk around and we've decided to place one little library across the street in National Road Park. And we are going to place it next to the info board. And then we're going to place one in Honors Park. And that is gonna go facing on the back side of the board. That way, when we have events, that space is already occupied, so a little library won't make any impact. And then we're letting the Eagle Scout. We couldn't do the bridge too close, so we decided on that curve where there's along the trail, along Buck Creek, where there's already a bench and it has a big round landing pad there, so we're gonna have him put that there. And that's all that I have. So our future agenda items, we need to split because the next meeting, we're just going to do the budget. And then for November, we'll do the park rules review and talk about the remaining budget. And then we also need to, and I don't think I brought it. Oh, yeah, I did. Really look at our calendar because we have to start getting things for if we're doing something January and February. I have to get stuff to Victoria and Hannah if we want any advertising. So if there's any indoor activities that we might want, we need to make sure we talk about those in November.
So my question is, where do we stand with our concerned citizens? comment on the idea of the Rainbow Bridge kind of thing. Is that future business? Is that something we approve? Is that something we need? Pictures, information, presentation on, is that a no-go? What is it?
No, that's something that we talk about and figure out how we can get it done by working with Everett and showing him. I have pictures of how the Rainbow Bridge, how everything's attached in Greenfield. So I can send those to him and then he can tell us, yeah, that's available, we can do that. And then Caitlin will work on making sure what we're doing is legal. And
But is that on the agenda for November? Or is that just something we just talk about in the board comments? That's my question.
You can put it as a agenda item.
yeah, because you're right, we usually don't give a citizen an answer right then, so.
Let's don't start now.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll put that on. And you were gonna mail us some things that you got from the conference. Stuff that you were really excited about and some things that you were on the fence about. And things that you absolutely hated, and please don't think about doing these. Okay, so do you have anything else?
No.
What about you, Everett? Do you have anything? Okay, so do I have a motion to end the October Parks Board meeting?
I can make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'm the second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. There's no discussion, so I call this meeting of the Cumberland Parks Board closed.